Hello and welcome to Shifty Crab News Break. We are back. Two of us at least. I am one of your hosts. We're nearly there. I'm one of your hosts, Terry Jeffs, and joining me today is the debater, dominator, the campaign arraigner, Mr. Adam Very. How are you, Adam?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, do you know what? It's nice to have someone on the news with me. Like, it is nice.
I'm going to keep you company today. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Vince should be with us next week for the next news break. But until then, it's just us guys. And, of course, this is Shifty Crab News Break, where we bring you just a pinch of the week's gaming news and discuss all those tasty games we can't wait to get our claws on. A little bit of housekeeping first for you. Our latest podcast is up, I believe, which is... What's the name of this week's one, Adam?
It is Teabags, Kettles, and DiCaprio.
Teabags, Kettles, and DiCaprio. That is fantastic. And that pretty much sums it up. I mean, that's all you need to know. But yeah, get on there and listen to that. You can find that on our YouTube channel and all good and evil podcast services. But enough about that. We need to get down to some... I'm getting all pop-ups. Can you hear that on your end?
No.
You know, like you get those Windows alerts, like just go. I've just had like 10 million of them just kind of pop up in my corner.
Oh. Is that a worry? Is this?
No.
Is it like your computer is going to turn off?
I just don't know why it does that. Like half an hour after my computer's gone on, it just decides to just start firing everything at me. I'm like, whoa!
The joys of Mac.
The joys of Mac. Yep. Anyway, this is Shifty Crab News Break, and we have plenty of stuff to talk about tonight. And of course, today I'm going to start with Deep Silver found new free radical design to work on TimeSplitters. You got I literally okay, we've got so much to break down here, but first of all, this is over at Eurogamer and this is by Tom Phillips. I can't believe I'm actually reading this. This is just
enjoy this moment.
TimeSplitters will return, courtesy of a fresh studio named Free Radical Design. This Free Radical Design will be a new developer owned by publisher Deep Silver, with several key figures from the original developer. In a statement published on Twitter this morning, Deep Silver said the company would be headed up by TimeSplitters co-creator Steve Ellis and David Doak, who are part of the core team from the original Free Radical Designs heyday. Deep Silver, I'm so excited I can't talk.
So excited.
Deep Silver also made it clear that work had not yet actually started on a new TimeSplitters game and that the studio was still being formed at present. Here's today's statement in full. You asked and we listened. We have been working on plans to bring the TimeSplitters franchise back to life and are pleased to let you know that we are setting up a new Deep Silver development studio to do just that. Free Radical Design is reforming and will be headed up by industry and TimeSplitters veterans Steve Ellie and David Doak. This is an exciting first step in the process. Development on a new game has not yet started and we will update you when we have more news to share. Today's news is the most concrete sign of life in TimeSplitters for years, following various suggestions that the beloved series could still be resurrected, scrapped plans for a fourth entry, and whispers of some kind of HD remake, that's been going on forever. It has now been 16 years since the last full TimeSplitters game, was released, but interest in the series still remains strong. Earlier this year, excitement was sparked among TimeSplitters fans when cheat codes surfaced to unlock more TimeSplitters 2 levels in Homefront: The Revolution. I'm glad I included that on Newsbreak before now. Yeah. Back in 2019, Deep Silver's parent company announced it was working with Steve Ellis to determine what might be next for TimeSplitters, although we had heard little since. Now, Adam, I saw this when I woke up out from my slumber and rubbed my eyes this morning, and I looked at this tweet from Deep Silver, and I had to keep rubbing my eyes and just checking. And I even said to you, can you please just verify? Because I can't, when you sometimes you do this and you're like, okay, I need to like find more like sources on this because this just seems fake. Like, is it April Fool's? I don't understand. It's real, and I can't believe it's happening, and I can't believe this was I reckon they listened to our campaign mode, you know.
You
And
did
although I lost the vote, I won the hearts and minds of Deep Silver. They were listening.
won the war.
I won the war. I never thought in a million years, although it's something that's the series I wanted to revive. I never thought in a million years that it would happen. This is just insane.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think this is a win for gaming. I think obviously you've been instrumental to this. You've been like the Greg Miller for Patapon.
Yep.
This is you and TimeSplitters. Yeah, I just think it's about time. I can't wait to see what.
Oh,
this
was that a
looks
pun?
No, it wasn't. But I'm going to take it.
Take it. Own it. Own it.
I could not wait to see what this looks like on current gen technology.
Yeah.
Right, because I know it has its own style anyway. So but it's gonna. I think it'll look fantastic. I bet it'll play great. Like you can't really mess up TimeSplitters if they just stick to the core of what it is.
Yeah, this is the thing, and this is where it gets, because we never even really talked about it, even when we did campaign mode. Obviously, I was just kind of fighting for it to, why I loved it. But myself personally, I would just be happy with TimeSplitters 2, just brought up, just put it in, fancy HD graphics package like that, online play. I'm fine. Now, is that going to be popular with the average gamer when they're playing, whatever they're playing, like Call of Duty, like Fortnite? Like, no, probably not. It's going to be just people that are into the franchise. So this does interest me now to see, okay, what does a new TimeSplitters look like? Are they going to move with the times? Are they going to change it? Could it be a battle royale? Let's not forget, like, TimeSplitters is very much a game of its time. Like, you can't even jump in TimeSplitters. There's no jump button. It's very much just like, glued to the floor kind of thing, running around, just kind of shooting guns. And it's just like basic. Well, I say basic modes. Lots of variations on like deathmatch and capture the flag and that kind of stuff. It's nothing kind of crazy there. So yeah, that's the thing I'm going to find interesting. Are they going to try to make a game that's going to appeal to the masses, or are they just going to target the hardcore and just go, here, look, here's what you loved before, and that's that?
I think you have to find a balance, because if you change it too much, then it's not TimeSplitters,
and then you're going to upset the
people who realistically you're making this game for.
Yeah.
To start with, like that's you need that fan base there, and then you bring on new generations of it. But yeah, you do probably have to sprinkle something new in. Now, if you look at Crash Bandicoot, when they did the Insane trilogy, they stayed pretty like true to the originals, little tweaks and stuff like that. And then they brought all the new stuff in with number 4. Was it Warped in Time? That one was called? Or is that one of the ones?
I can't remember now.
I think it was Warped in Time. But maybe that's something that maybe they look at. They remaster previous iterations, and then they do a new one which adds to that, and then maybe softens the blow for the hardcores that don't want anything different, but then opens it up to a new like generation. Because you're right. If the game releases and it's capture the flag, like free for all and like a team deathmatch, it's going to grow stale quick for a lot of people who dip in and out of different games. So I think they probably will be looking at how they can modernize it.
But that game, like, it lends itself so well to, as what I mentioned before, like that game came out, that trilogy of games came out before online play, at least. The first 2 did, like, to, a certain extent. Like, but even so, I think the majority of people did not play TimeSplitters online. But that is a game that lends itself so well to like online death matches and even like a battle royale mode and the graphics and the style of it. I mean, you look at even say something like Fortnite, so you look at that and it's very much something that's inspired by TimeSplitters. That back in the day it was very an artistic style to go for that kind of cartoony, and the character roster. Yeah, like I mean, you got such a huge character roster to kind of just pull from and have fun with. It's just got so much going for it in that way. And if they really put their minds into making a really decent campaign, which, I mean, let's face it, they only really like went all out for the campaign in the third one, in Future Perfect. But if you thought there's a way they could do that in a reboot, and I just think it could work really well. But yeah, I'm just excited. Whatever comes from it, I'm excited. I just can't wait to play it. Like, this franchise means so much to me. Like, TimeSplitters pretty much was my real introduction to FPSs, really, in general. Like, I mean, I'd played FPSs before. Like, I think I'd like dabbled in GoldenEye, but that was never my thing. I didn't have an N64. I didn't have close friends that had an N64, so that wasn't part, on my radar that much. And I think I played like a little bit of like Doom or Unreal Tournament on my PC, like a little bit. But TimeSplitters was my first like introduction to that dual analog stick FPS online, like not online, sorry, multiplayer split screen. It was everything to me. And TimeSplitters 2 is still my favorite FPS of all time. Like, as far as multiplayer goes, anyway. So I mean, I just can't wait. I just can't wait. This is such good news. Best news so far of the year.
Oh yeah, exactly. And for you, and I'd say, obviously this is very early, early. So you're still a few years out from this, but like I'm really interested to follow this one. I know you will anyway. Like, I know we will here. Like, to follow like this and see what they come up with. That's what I'm excited about. Like, whether this is going, like you said, going down, opening up maybe Battle Royale or something along those lines, or if they just put a really good campaign in there, keep the online multiplayer as basic as they want, and they could maybe add modes, over time. So it'd be interesting to see, definitely. I want to see it.
I want to give props as well to Deep Silver for actually naming the team Free Radical Design again, and just going back and obviously with a couple of the original founding members. I think that's so cool, because I used to get so excited by that logo coming up. Like, that was such a good team, and yeah, it's great. It's good stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to following any drips of information we get from this over the coming years. On to other news about upcoming releases. Starfield release date reportedly late 2022. This is over at Eurogamer by Wesley Yin-Pool. Starfield launches late 2022, according to Bloomberg's Jason Schreier. Schreier tweeted to say Bethesda plans to tease this release date at E3 next month. Bethesda announced Starfield at E3 2018, calling the game its next-generation first-person sci-fi RPG. That initial reveal showed us a ship unfold itself in space via a very brief teaser trailer before it warped out of existence. That teaser is below, which you can find on Eurogamer. I'm just going to click on the tweet now, and I'll read you that tweet in full because I found this interesting. If it loads up. Okay, so yeah, this is Jason Schreier on Twitter. Let me make this very clear. Bethesda's plan is to tease a release date for Starfield at E3. That date is in late 2022. I'll leave the specifics to them. But please keep your expectations in check and refrain from sending death threats when the other rumors turn out to be false. Adam, what are your thoughts on this? And I'm trying to think whose prediction it was. Was it Vince's that he predicted in our E3 predictions that Starfield would... I can't remember exactly what it was.
I've got them here.
He either predicted that it was going to get a release date the E3, or it was going to come out this year. There was something involving Starfield.
No, there wasn't.
Oh, okay.
No, that's not one of his predictions.
Okay, I'll
I think he has said that.
Maybe I think he probably just mentioned it. When we spoke about it, and I was like, "You are crazy! Not a chance in hell!" But this, wow, this. I mean, because we had the rumors. I think was it last week that it's actually going to be an Xbox exclusive. which, you know, we've always said it could go either way. Yeah, you just don't know. It's looking more likely, and now, I mean, that would be huge.
Yeah. I think there's two things that I take away from this. It's a really interesting tweet there by Jason Schreier. First of all, 2022 seems about right, though you'd like to see. It depends how much they show at E3, I guess, because we haven't seen anything of this game, really, have we? So just the title. I've already said that my worry with this game is that it's using the creation engine, which has been used all the way back in Elder Scrolls 3, and they just keep overhauling the engine a little bit, but it's the same one they used in Fallout 4, which is a clunky engine. It'll be buggy. So I'm hoping that they've really polished that for this game that I've been waiting so long for. But my interesting bit is Jason Squire, the second part of that thing. He says, what was it about the death threats? How did he word it? Sorry, have you got it there still?
Yeah, he said, please keep your expectations in check and refrain from sending death threats when the other rumors turn out to be false. Like, because I think like there's other rumors probably saying that it's going to come up before then. Like, you know, as if.
Oh, I read that totally different. I read that about the rumors being an exclusive.
Oh, right.
That's how I read it. That's the other big.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
And you could be absolutely right, and probably more likely right than me. But because I know a lot of attention last week was brought on.
Yeah, no, that makes sense though. It does make more sense.
Potential of it, a high potential of it being exclusive to Xbox or Microsoft, because I'm sure it will come out on PC.
Why would anyone send death threats? Like,
because this is the internet and people are just.
No, I mean, like, why would anyone? I mean, I guess that's the same question, but like, yeah, well, so fanboys would send death threats if it was not exclusive to Xbox, like if it was.
Yeah, because it's Bethesda and they're letting PlayStation have this game as well. You listen,
no matter what happens, there's going to be.
If it's not exclusive,
that's ridiculous.
Xbox fans will be unhappy. If it's exclusive, PlayStation fans will be unhappy.
That has never made any sense to me. Why would you care where else it goes? Like, what the? I remember people kicking off about there was like PlayStation fans kicking off that Horizon Zero Dawn was going to be playable on PC. It's like, what?
Like, why?
Like you're betraying your customer. You're like, what the hell does it matter to you? What the? More people. You're moaning because you love this game so much, and now you're complaining that other people are going to be able to play
it. It does my head in. It will never change because there's always going to be idiots in the world, but. I don't like. I want other people to play these games. The only time it annoys me, and it doesn't annoy me or anger me, is if I see a game that I really want to play and I don't have the console.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Normal. But even then, like you shouldn't be getting to the point where you're sending threats to people. But I can see why someone would be disappointed. Like that happened for me when Tomb Raider
came out on Xbox.
Yeah, and I was just like, what the hell, like, But you know, I'm not going to go for it. I waited a year and then
good game.
Yeah. But wow. But no, that's I can see. I don't know. It's one of the. I'm very. Everything surrounding Starfield will be an indicator of what is going on with Bethesda and Microsoft going forward. Like we'll be able to see if they go forward and say, like. I don't know what way it would go. Like
I've given up trying to work out what any of this means. Because you could say to me, okay, Starfield's going to be exclusive. I'd be like, okay.
But then that still doesn't mean everything
Elder Scrolls would be exclusive. But then maybe it could be. And maybe they're going to go, no, everything's exclusive. Like,
but they could do a year thing because that normally works quite well. Like, similar to what they've just done with Final Fantasy VII Remake on PlayStation.
At the end of the day, like, you can probably put money on Starfield and Elder Scrolls if they are cross-platform and multi-platform. That they'll be on Game Pass day release. And PlayStation will have to pay. That's how they'll swing that. But
I mean, I was always in that mind of that's what they do. But I am starting to think that they might make things more exclusive. But I always just thought like, yeah, like why wouldn't you do that? Like, like I don't know, Starfield, say it come out on both platforms. Here it's here. You just got to sign up for Game Pass and it's free. You know what I mean? It's free, or you pay 80, whatever it is, 70, like 70, 80 quid, yeah. Like and you'd be like, well, and then if you pay that £80, they're still getting the money because they're you know what I mean? They've got the rights to the game, so it's win-win for them. But like, it just makes them make that decision for the customer like more easier to just get it on Game Pass. But
I just want Bethesda to come out and say, like, even if at their presentation saying these are the games at the Microsoft conference, to say these are the games coming from Bethesda that are exclusive to Microsoft.
Yeah.
And then just have a fucking list. Like, then I can go, play that, can't play that, can't play that, can't play. Fine. Good for you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to have to buy an Xbox. Like, that's all.
Yeah.
Just let us know.
Absolutely. Let us know. Someone has been letting us know what is going on with Summer Game Fest, which is returning in June. And this is over at The Verge by Jay Peters. Summer Game Fest, which debuted last year as a digital celebration of video games with news, events, and playable content, is returning this year, kicking off in June. We don't know much about what to expect just yet, but the roster of participating publishers and developers, along with an event schedule outline, will be revealed in the coming weeks, according to a press release. One thing is already on the agenda, though. There will be a Day of the Devs Summer Game Fest edition, which will digitally spotlight a select group of upcoming indie and AAA video games. Day of the Devs will be curated by Jeff Keighley and the Day of the Devs team, comprised of Double Fine Productions and I Am 8-Bit. The COVID-19 pandemic remains a threat worldwide, forcing big gaming events once again to operate differently than in years past. The Entertainment Software Association says it is transforming its E3 conference for its return this year, reportedly as a digital event. And the Game Developers Conference shifted into 3 separate online events, with the traditional business and education-focused event taking place during the week of July 19th. Are you excited by Summer Games Fest this year, or is it not really on your radar?
It's a difficult one because E3 obviously is going to be the focal point, and this is starting obviously 2 days before E3, and they've got some okay partners, but what are they really going to show there that they're not going to show at E3? That's what I'm like, it's something that obviously that we'll cover and we'll break the news and we'll have a look at it. But really, I think a lot of these companies will be waiting for E3, surely.
Yeah, I think it could be with E3 being back and being obviously very close now to this. I think if they restructure it, it could complement itself quite well to E3, because E3, E3 is all about the big boys. You're looking for the AAA games, and if there are any indie announcements in E3, they normally just get buried. Whereas maybe similar to what Kind of Funny did with their indie kind of showcase. If they maybe kind of lean more towards that and find their just kind of find where they can have more of a focus, so they can give those games a spotlight before we see the big hitters. That could work quite well, because last year, wasn't it? Yeah. Of course. It was just spread out throughout the whole year, and it was just a whole lot of nothing, and it was just kind of, I can't remember really much at all of what was announced any of them, but I think if they can Crash Bandicoot, but I think if they just contain it a little bit more and maybe focus more on the indies.
They've got some big companies there though, but in what capacity? Obviously, because you've got Activision, 2K.
That's what I mean.
Bandai Namco, Capcom, EA.
But do you think that they will be possibly maybe announce, because in the lead up to E3, you have that week to E3, especially the couple of days before, a lot of stuff just gets leaked. A lot of stuff. Maybe they could be trying a different approach and thinking, well, if that stuff's going to get out there anyway, let's do similar to what we were doing last year with the Summer Games Fest, and maybe just kind of give Jeff Keighley some little things he can kind of put out there, a tease out there, give a title, give a little bit of details before we show a more in-depth or a full-on trailer at E3. Could do it that way. Just give him a little bit of exclusives.
Yeah. Because it depends on what the legalities are, aren't they? Because obviously these are two separate entities.
Yeah.
Like, so and I'm sure they're both fine to get exclusives. So it'll be interesting to see, because like I said, PlayStation are there, Xbox are there, Epic Games. It'll be interesting to see what I think you're right. This is definitely going to focus more on like AA titles and indie games, and they'll probably leave the AAA for E3.
Yeah.
And yeah, you might see some teasers, but it's just you're not going to be able to see a teaser and say see more in 2 days at E3. But yeah, you're probably right. Hopefully it's a little bit more condensed than it was last year, like you said.
That's the main thing, I think. Yeah.
Does it say how long it's going to last?
It doesn't. It doesn't. No. I think last time it just went across. It felt like all year, but I guess it was spread across all the summer.
Yeah. Well, but big news is there's a musical performance from Weezer.
I'm in.
Hands-free for you guys. They did Teenage Dirtbag, right? Is that Weezer?
That's Weezer, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm in.
I always get confused between Weezer and Wheatus.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, and Wheatus are the ones that done the South Park intro, right? Is that right?
Yeah,
I believe so.
Yes, I think so.
Like the original, going down South Park, going to hammer South. I think so. Anyway, I might have got that wrong. Don't know. I tell you one thing I do know. Well, I don't know, but someone's heard a rumor, Adam, that Hades is coming to the PS4 because Hades' PS4 rating has been spotted, and this story's over at Eurogamer by Wesley Yingpo once again. Hades looks set for release on PlayStation 4. The eagle-eyed watchers at Reset Era spotted a PS4 listing for Hades on the website of Korea's Game Rating and Administration Committee. Supergiant's superb roguelite brawler was available first on PC in early access form in December 2018, before launching proper in September on PC and Nintendo Switch. Supergiant has yet to make an announcement about Hades coming to more platforms, but this listing suggests a PlayStation release isn't far off. Perhaps on an Xbox release isn't far behind too. So obviously after if you watch the podcast, this week's podcast, Vince was absolutely gushing about Hades and playing it on his Switch.
Yeah.
Made me really want to play it. That's for sure. And I think if I'm going to be playing this game, it's going to be when it hits PlayStation. So this is good.
Yeah, more people playing this game, like it should be good. I just wish I liked roguelike games. I just wish I liked them. I will try Hades. I just haven't bought it on the Switch. I think it's especially on the Switch, it's usually quite highly priced. I think it would be more reasonable on PlayStation eventually. So yeah, and I play most of my stuff on the PlayStation, so I will give it a go if it goes there.
Yeah, definitely. And as you said, it'd be good to get it in front of more people. Although obviously, Switch's got a huge
doing well,
install base, but even more people, and obviously on.
But
the
like
Xbox
yourself,
too.
You don't have a Switch, so this
Although I can imagine if I had a Switch.
This would be the same game you'd be playing.
I would probably get this on the Switch over on the PlayStation. Yeah. Don't know why. There's something about
this feels like a handheld game.
Yeah, I think it would suit it on there. Yeah, definitely. But I tell you about one game that's even more exciting for me than Hades. Final Fantasy.
Done the TimeSplitters news.
But this is definitely a me news day. Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker release date announced, coming November 2021. This is over at GameSpot by Michael Higgum. Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker, the next expansion for the Square Enix MMORPG, will launch on November 23rd, 2021, 3 days after my birthday. However, those who pre-order the expansion will have early access 4 days ahead of launch, starting on Friday. Oh my God. I did not realize that, Adam. So I can actually play the day before my birthday. It's working out again. The stars are aligning.
Yeah.
The PS5 came out the same day last year.
Meant to
you know,
be.
it's just meant to be. Director and producer Naoki Yoshida led the opening keynote presentation for Final Fantasy FanFest 2021 and detailed a slew of information for Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker, including these launch dates. There are 4 different editions of Endwalker as well: the collector's edition, the collector's box, the digital collector's edition, and the standard edition. As expected, there will be no physical version of the game itself, and all editions come with digital download codes. Whichever edition you pre-order, you will be able to start playing on November 19th early access date. Several details were revealed during the FanFest 2021 keynote, including but not limited to the new melee DPS job Reaper, which looks really cool, by the way. It looks straight out of Bloodborne.
I like the look of that,
yeah. The additional zones like Thavnir and Old Sharlayan, parts of the upcoming story dungeons, new mounts, the next Alliance raid series called Myths of the Realm, and a whole lot more. You can also see the wild implications for the story of Endwalker in the full intro cinematic. Yeah, lots to break down there, but exciting stuff. We knew it was coming this year. I was kind of expecting at some point an announcement that it was going to be delayed just due to like everything being delayed this year. But hey, if any team can like make deadlines now, it's that team working on Final Fantasy 14. They are just relentless in just how consistent and like quality they put out content. But yeah, obviously I know, Adam, you not got too much interest in this, but do you have any hot takes at all for Endwalker? Or?
Well, it's good that it's coming out near your birthday. That's one hot take. Do you know what? I'm not. It's not my area of expertise, but what I will say is what they do really well with most of the Final Fantasy series, especially the ones that have a lot of DLC, is the fan service, and they really put a lot of effort into what they release. And I think they've learned from past mistakes, and it's usually a pretty beefy expansion, and they really do put a lot of time into it. You know, you're going to get value for money with it. So
yeah,
because usually they usually have a bit of a hefty cost to them as well, if I believe so. Like they're not cheap expansions, but they're value for money, but they're not cheap.
They are practically full on, like they're full on games. They're like bigger than every one that came before, and they always seem to, from what I hear, because I haven't played any of the the expansions, but everyone says that they just kind of keeps getting better, and they're setting the standard for MMOs. Like every expansion they go, they just keep getting better, and that just does not happen in MMOs, especially this going on this long. To be like going this strong. So yeah, and you're right, with the fact they do these fan fests and they go all out. Yoshida comes out like he was dressed full on. I watched a bit of the keynote, but he was dressed up in the what's the new thing, the new DPS class, the Reaper. He was dressed up in the Reaper outfit. Like he'll be playing guitar on stage, and they have like bands and stuff. It's just
he's just living his dream.
That guy's living his dream. But my God, he works 24/7 working on that project. Yeah, 100%. And obviously now he's working away on Final Fantasy 16 as well. So I hope that's going to be very good. I'm sure it will be. But yeah, great stuff. So hopefully it sees its release date in November.
Hopefully.
Moving on to our next story. Die Hard's Nakatomi Plaza is coming to the Call of Duty Warzone map. This over at Polygon by Austin Goslin. Call of Duty's mid-season update is all about action movies and the heroes that make them great. In the first trailer for the Call of Duty Warzone and Black Ops Cold War 80s action movie update, we got our first glimpse of John McClane and John Rambo in action. The trailer itself is styled like a trailer for an 80s action movie might be. It's got a cheesy voiceover, lots of film grain, and plenty of action. It's even got some groan-worthy taglines like, "Some heroes die hard, others draw first blood," which it's worth noting is the exact opposite of what actually happened in the latter movie. The trailer also gives us a preview of some of the changes coming in the patch, including seemingly adding Rambo and McClane as playable operators. It also appears that a few new places are coming to Warzone, like Die Hard's Nakatomi Plaza, the iconic skyscraper which Hans Gruber and his men took hostage in the original movie. Looks like it may have been moved to the downtown area of Verdansk 84. All of these action hero-themed additions are expected to arrive in Call of Duty Warzone, Black Ops Cold War, and Call of Duty Mobile on May 20th. As for what else the update will include, we'll have to wait until closer to the event for Treyarch to reveal their entire mid-season patch. Now, I don't often report on Call of Duty news, Adam, because I just generally just don't have much interest in it, and there's always seems to be something going on. Although I absolutely love that everyone's loving Warzone. It looks great, but this caught my eye. This caught my eye because Die Hard is just one of my all-time favorite movies. I like Rambo as well, but this was more about the Die Hard for me. But this looks really fun, and I was actually okay. I'm tempted to play this.
I don't even want to play it. I just want to be in the map on my own. I just be able to wander around like Nakatomi Plaza. Yeah. Like, I don't want anyone shooting at me. Leave me alone. Let me just go have a look around. Like,
shoot the glass. Shoot the glass.
I wonder how expensive this is going to be.
I don't know. But they announced this a couple of days ago, and then today, I think it was today, I saw the the first like pictures and that of basically jump like Bruce Willis, like kind of scan into it. I mean, it looks better than he does in Apocalypse. I'll give him that. Do you remember that Apocalypse PS1 game?
That was terrible.
That was bad. It was like it was a big thing that it was like starring Bruce Willis. It like basically just gave the rights to scan his face, which looked like just a triangle. But yeah.
Do you remember the Die Hard game? I think it was on PlayStation.
Die Hard trilogy. Yeah. Great. I loved that game at the time.
I used to play the demo discs to that all the time.
Yeah. I've got it here. But yeah, you had the original Die Hard, which was like a third person kind of game, was it, where you could explore the Nakatomi Plaza, and then Die Hard 2 was the light gun game. You could play it with the light gun or in the airport, and then Die Hard Revengeance is where you drove the taxi around New York. So cool, so original for its time. It's basically 3 games rolled into one, different genres. Really cool.
It's a lot of fun.
But no, this look, I mean, I love the look of this. And I know it's all like, same thing like what Fortnite's doing. Yeah. I think they're thinking, we've got to jump on this too now. Just tap into it. It fits
it though, because the new Verdansk map is in the 80s, bringing some of those 80s classics. I'm surprised they haven't got Schwarzenegger in here somewhere.
I'm sure that'll be next.
He must be on his way. Well, be Commando, I presume. Like,
didn't Rambo come to Fortnite as well? Was that a thing?
I'm not sure. I don't really follow Fortnite. They have.
It's like every week they have a new character. I'm sure Rambo was one of them. I don't know if I imagined that, because I was just thinking maybe they've grabbed these because if he wasn't in Fortnite, maybe they thought, okay, we can get. There might be some kind of license thing where they can't use each other's stuff. Because I know Schwarzenegger was in. He was definitely in Fortnite, right? Terminator, at least. I don't know. Sure. I don't even know that. But I think it's going to get to the point where has there been any franchise that hasn't been in Fortnite? That's where it's going to get to.
I know. Yeah.
It's had Alien,
it's definitely getting that way.
Everything, but but no, this is cool. I like the look of this. I'm a sucker for Die Hard, so I'm looking forward to seeing what this looks like.
No, they just need sound bites.
Yeah,
just like Bruce Willis sound bites from the film.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
That would be it continuously.
Yeah, Glass. Who gives a shit about Glass? No. As long as he runs around saying, "No fucking shit, lady. You think I'm ordering a pizza?" I just want to. I want to just be able to say that every time. On to our last story: GTA 5 and GTA Online, PS5 and Xbox Series S upgrades coming in November, and it's over at IGN by Joe Scrubbles. GTA 5 and GTA Online will receive PS5 and Xbox Series XS versions on November the 11th, and Rockstar has promised surprises related to the upcoming 20th anniversary of Grand Theft Auto 3. Announced in a press release, the new generation upgrades of both Grand Theft Auto 5 and GTA Online will be expanded and enhanced and come with as yet unannounced new features. Updates added to GTA Online this summer will also include special benefits for players to take advantage of in these expanded and enhanced versions when they drop. More intriguingly, Rockstar is also promising surprises related to the 20th anniversary of the release of GTA 3, including some related to GTA Online. It's not clear just yet what that will entail. GTA 3 was first released in October 22nd, 2001, so it shouldn't be too long before Rockstar begins announcing what those surprises could be. GTA Online will be released as a standalone game on both PS5 and Xbox Series consoles, and for 3 months after release, it will be totally free to PS5 owners. No pricing has been revealed for the Xbox version at launch. PlayStation Plus subscribers can claim $1 million of in-game currency every month until the updated version launches. Was this a surprise to you at all, or?
No, this is what I thought it would be.
Yeah.
This is what I thought it would be. This opens up a few little interesting things, though, that a lot of people thought that Take-Two at E3, this was going to be one of their bigger things, given the release date for this. So that opens up a few possibilities of really, if Take-Two are paying to be at E3, what are they showing? Because they don't usually go there, obviously. And I know it's kind of getting off the GTA Online, GTA 5 stuff. That for me, when we did our predictions for E3, and I think me and you specifically, especially, I don't know if Vince did, you said Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
I said the GTA 3 Vice City and San Andreas being remastered. But we didn't really think about, and after we did that, we didn't really think about other titles in their arsenal, that they could potentially be ones that they show. And two that stick out to me is Mafia, because they've just done the remastered trilogy.
Yeah. You think they'll announce a new one? A
new Mafia game, potentially, because they've just... Last year, obviously, they did the remastered trilogy of that. LA Noir's just celebrated its anniversary. I think that was, 15 years or something since that was released last week? I don't think
we'll be seeing that come back.
Well, maybe. They're proud of it anyway. They talk about it quite a lot. Max Payne, obviously, do they own the rights to Max Payne now? Did they buy them?
I think they did. Yeah, I can't remember.
I think they did.
But
and then obviously Borderlands is the other one, but I don't think they'll do anything with Borderlands because they're just still releasing stuff for the last one. And then Bully's the other one that there's always been rumored to be another.
Bully's the one that I want to see come back. I just absolutely love that game.
So I think this is exciting news for that, because it means that hopefully a lot of the press conference isn't taken up by this. Apart from, I do want to see what some of the new stuff is. Not necessarily the online stuff. They said there's stuff for offline as well. So I'm interested to see that. But yeah, no, it's good. I wish it was a bit sooner than November, but put something in the middle of the year.
Yeah.
Because November's going to get busy, obviously, as it always does. But yeah, no, I'm excited for it.
I mean, this was always... We knew this was coming, but when it was going to come, I'm still holding out, but I'm a little bit disappointed we still haven't heard anything regarding Red Dead Redemption 2 coming to PS5, because I think that's just got to happen. But
do you not think they'd do Red Dead Redemption first?
I think they should. I mean,
yeah.
Sorry, you mean Red Dead Redemption 1?
Yeah. Do you not think that's the one they bring across?
No, because to me, I feel like that's a bigger undertaking. Like, I'm not saying that it's just as easy as pressing the bloody 4K button, but I just feel like
is that not how they do it? Is that not how they just press a button?
But I feel like we've seen a lot of PS4 games already transition over to the PS5, and and just being able to play it in a more enhanced mode. And I feel that's all I really want from. I don't want anything crazy from Red Dead Redemption 2. I just want to be able to play it on the PS5 and obviously play it the same way I'll be able to play it on PC, like push all the levels up. The first Red Dead, that's a different thing. That's an undertaking. You're not going to just port that, and it's got to be, if they were to do that, they need to do that properly. That would be fully remastered. They could even go to the length of like maybe what Naughty Dog are doing with Uncharted. But I don't know. Sorry, with Last of Us 1. But I don't know. But with this, do you know what? The more and more I think about it, I was listening to Giant Bomb today, and they were talking about this, and this is this conversation. They were asking the same question that I've been asking for years and years and years. How do you possibly follow up GTA 5? Like, what do you do? Yeah. Where do you set it? What kind of game is it? Like, I honestly have no idea what they could be doing with the next one, but with every day passing, they have to do something different. They have to do something so radical. They can't just do another GTA now with a campaign and then an online mode. I firmly believe that especially with the way GTA Online's going, it's just ridiculous. Like, it's just how huge it is. I think that the next GTA will be a always online, ever evolving game. Like I feel like it will be basically GTA Online, but the campaign will be baked into it, and every mission will be a way that you can play it with a group, with a group of people. Like, it's got to be like, I just can't imagine the next GTA coming out now with, it's out and it's the same as it always is, your campaign, and then you can play this GTA Online. I just think that GTA Online's too big, and I can just see that that's the route they're going to go down now. But it won't just be GTA Online. It have to be something like that's going to revolutionize how these kind of games play, like a kind of Destiny, but pushing it even further, like a shared world.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because they do have to do something different. I personally hope they don't do that, purely because I don't really like GTA Online.
Yeah.
I like my campaign to be immersive. I don't want to see, oh, this person can join your thing. You could do. Yeah. I don't want that. I want to have the story as rocks, because that's what they do. I definitely
think if they did do that, I think there'll be an option to do that, because I'd prefer that too. Because I'm old school. I've never been drawn to on GTA Online. I like that campaign.
I would like if I was going to guess what they would do, and not going down the rabbit hole of trying to work out what the next GTA campaign's going to be, but as a game in general, I would say that they're probably, as they really are doing now, there'll be two separate things, GTA and GTA Online, but they'll go even more separate.
You think? So okay, go the other way.
I think there'll be GTA story, it'll have its GTA whatever it is, and then GTA Online will be purely its own thing. You won't have the story there. You'll be a creative person, and you go. Now, like you said, they're already doing it now. You can buy GTA Online separately, obviously with a new one. So it's the same principle, and maybe they're doing that now because that's what they're going to do for the next one. And I could be really wrong on that, but I'd be okay with that. Like, some people don't like the campaign. I know people that have never played the campaign.
I bet I bet there's so many like younger players. Like,
I bet it's quite an even split now.
Yeah, Because it's so big. GTA Online's so big. It's like they just want to jump on and play with their friends. They don't care about playing. It's like trying to think of like a comparison. Battlefield, maybe something like that. But then Battlefield isn't like something that's known for its campaigns. But yeah, there's a lot of people.
It's difficult. It's difficult to think about it. It's its own monster. Like, I think what they're going to struggle with the most is probably the setting, because you're not going to please everybody. Like, and you'd think you'd maybe have to you could set the game in a period of time, but online would have to be modern.
Yeah.
And that might be the selling point. Let's say they take Vice City, for example, which is what everyone thinks it's going to be. I think it's going to be more the Americas, that idea of like Los Venturas, all of them kind of built into one, and you can travel between them a little bit. But let's say they do Vice City. The campaign could be set in the 90s, earlier than the 80s. They could go even further back a little bit. But then when you play online, it's modern day Miami or Vice City or something like that. I think that's so. Then you get the two aspects of it. I really don't know.
Yeah,
but there's so many speculations out there.
They're going back to the setting though. Again, it's that discussion we keep. Like I just feel like how do you top
Los Santos and San Andreas?
Like because I don't know how you can do it, a way you could set it that could do that. Like the only way that they managed to jump from San Andreas and going back to just stripped back Liberty City with GTA 4 is because there was just jumping to such a high fidelity in the detail and the scope of the city. For them to go from from Los Santos to base it in somewhere like a little Miami, like a Vice City, I just don't know how they can do that unless it was just something so drastically jump forward in leaps of, how you'd have to be able to that Miami would have to be huge and you'd be able to go into every build. You know what I mean? It would otherwise it's just going to be like, why this seems like a downgrade from going from Los Santos. I don't know. I mean, I say I don't want to be
in maybe multiple places. I think it's the only thing they can do next.
But Rockstar have never failed to completely blow our minds with their reveal of the next one. So whatever they're doing, God knows what it is. But
you think they've got to have a dud eventually. I just don't. You always think this is going to be the time, but it smashes it. Like for example, when they're on about doing celebrating GTA 3 and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I didn't even mention that.
Can you imagine if they said, we've been working on this for a long time, you can now go to Liberty City online, or you can go to the airport in single player and fly to Liberty City, and there's a few missions that you could do there, not a full game, and you can drive around Liberty City. Oh my God, that's the dream. That's where it started, the 3D GTAs. That'd be fantastic. That will not be what they do. I imagine it's going to be some characters popping back and from what was the mafia guy called in GTA 3?
What, when you play as, or
no, the mob boss.
I want to say
Salvatore
Leone.
I know he died though in GTA 3, didn't he? But I'm sure the name still lives on.
Because
so
he's basically just a take on
the Godfather.
The Godfather, what's his name? But I hope they do something cool. 20 years though, Adam. 20 years. Jesus.
I feel old.
It still feels like yesterday playing that game, just every single day.
Do you think, not including the original top-down versions because they're kind of their own entity, do you think Grand Theft Auto 4 will go down as the worst GTA?
Unfairly, yes.
Yeah, I think unfairly because I think at the time it was groundbreaking.
I love GTA. GTA 4 has many problems with it, but I think that game was just, in my opinion, the only thing that surpassed it in terms of the detail of the world was GTA 5. It was so ahead of its time, that game. I think people forget that. I think people forget how much of a jump that was in technology when we first played that game.
Oh yeah, but, mind blowing.
Yeah, was it as fun as San Andreas? No, it
wasn't supposed to be.
No, it was definitely, they were going for a less kind of bombastic, more kind of gritty, realistic, and I liked that tone. I liked what it did. In fact, I saw I don't necessarily agree with it, but I saw a comparison video on YouTube, and they were comparing 4 and 5 and just certain things in the world and the detail, and the actual the stuff they were doing in 4 was actually a lot impressive than what they were doing in 5. They stripped back stuff on 5.
They had to though because of the size of that place.
Exactly. Yeah. But no, I love 4. I love 4. I was listening to the soundtrack again the other day. Such a good soundtrack. But
I know, yeah. It got a lot of heat, the soundtrack for 4, because it obviously didn't feature as many
no, I
big
mean, yeah,
songs.
again,
And
you're not
yeah,
going to compete with the
no,
original trilogy, but I just thought it had its own tone and it was
yeah.
good. It felt more
I
like a
love that game.
score. I like the score of
Yeah,
it, like whereas I don't remember much of the score at all from the original games. I just remember the
no,
soundtracks
yeah.
um,
No, it was a great game.
yeah, great stuff. But yeah, what should we see from any GTA 3 announcements? We'll have to wait and see. Is it going to be that remake that Adam predicted? We'll have to wait and see.
That has to come as a trilogy, though, for me to get points.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. Hey,
Like,
if it
I made
comes
it
as it's
hard.
on its own, I'm sure you'll take it.
Fair, fair.
Points or not, points or not.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll take it.
but yeah, that wraps up this week's Shifty Crab News Break. It was a fun little conversation. I'm sure we'll have plenty more stuff to talk about next week, which you'll be able to find on YouTube every Friday. And of course, don't forget our podcast every Wednesday. But until then, I have been Terry. You have been Adam. Thanks for joining us, Adam.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Always a pleasure, never a chore. Or
Yeah, that's the one.
But until then, stay shifty.
There we go.
That's